The 2024 European Championship tournament has started, and as expected, it's been full of amazing displays, and some scary teams have started to perform. After wonderful displays by European players and immense talents coming onto the scene, the bookies, pundits, and punters were all of the view, whether you agree or not, which we don't, by the way, that France and England had the best squads and were considered the top favourites for Euro 2024, and were subsequently rated slightly above the likes of Germany, Portugal, and Spain as the favourites to win the trophy before the tournament started. This is, of course, understandable because of the form these teams were in, and the level of talent they have is ridiculous. However, both England and France have not been performing to their expected levels as of yet. England scraped through a 1-0 win over Serbia and managed a draw against Denmark before drawing again with Slovenia and finishing top of the group despite lackluster performances and dire attacking displays. France, meanwhile, have been only slightly better by beating Austria 1-0, also in a game where Austria were unlucky not to score, before drawing to a resolute Dutch team without their main man Mbappe. The French then drew to a surprisingly strong-looking Dutch side, and then disappointingly drew again to Poland on matchday 3 and finished second in. Unsurprisingly, Germany, the host team, have been playing well, but what has been surprising is that they came out of the blocks so fast and have been on fire. On opening day, Germany exceeded expectations. Now, by scoring 3 goals in the first half, Germany also became only the second team to score 3 or more goals in the first half of a Euro match after France, who achieved this against Belgium in 1984 and also Iceland in 2016. After this initial match, one thing was clear. Germany didn't just come to the Euros to play, but there were still doubts. Many argued that the German team may have won their first match, not because they played beautifully, but because, well, Scotland were below par. The German national team put those doubts to death when they then humiliated Hungary in the second round. The team played excellently against Hungary and defeated them by 2-0. With this win, they mathematically qualified for the knockout stages, becoming the first team to do so. At this point, all doubts were gone, and Germany were crowned favourites to win the Euros. Now, after beautiful displays in their first 2 matches, the German team has gone ahead of France and England in people's predictions to win the tournament. A draw against Switzerland in the third match day didn't really reduce how highly rated the German team were, because they already mathematically qualified for the knockout stage before the match, and with the draw, they topped their group despite probably deserving to win against a very strong, very defensive Swiss unit. The host nation have been outstanding in the European Championship tournament so far, and this can be attributed to the beautiful displays their players are dishing out. And in hindsight, it makes sense that Germany's players have hit the ground running, as many of the starting 11 have already had incredibly successful seasons for Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen, and more of the squad players have also had excellent seasons with Dortmund and Stuttgart. Now, without a doubt, one of the stars of Germany's squad is Ilkay Gundogan. The Germany captain has been beyond amazing. He won a penalty in the first match against Scotland and had 2 goal contributions in the 2-0 win against Hungary, winning player of the match. Florian Wirtz has continued his beautiful form from his season with Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen. He's arguably Germany's best young player currently. So far, the youngster has been replicating his beautiful form in Leverkusen for Germany. He scored Germany's first goal of the tournament, and it's been raining goals for them since then. His strike for Germany in the first match at 9 minutes and 54 seconds is actually the second fastest in the opening match of the Euros, after Georgios Karagounis' goal for Greece in 2004, which was 5 minutes and 57 seconds. Wirtz has been beyond amazing so far. He was an integral part of the German sides that defeated both Scotland and Hungary. Jamal Musiala is another German 21-year-old who's in excellent shape. Musiala, who has been dubbed the future Messi, has been outstanding for Germany since the start of the 2024 Euros, just as we predicted on this channel. Musiala was selected player of the match following a standout performance against Scotland in the first match. He also maintained his impressive form in the 2-0 victory over Hungary in the second match. And with 2 goals, Musiala, along with Füllkrug and a couple of other Germans, are in fine goal-scoring form. Now, both Wirtz and Musiala have been in top form. On the first match day, they both scored, setting a record. For the first time at the Men's European Championships, two players aged 21 or under scored for the same team in a single game, when Florian scored the opening goal and then Jamal doubled the lead, both being, of course, aged 21. Next up is the Madrid men. Antonio Rudiger and Toni Kroos are also continuing their fine form. Kroos has been in the news, actually, as he completed 99% and 99 out of his 102 attempted passes against Scotland, the highest completion rate on record since 1980 by any player to attempt 100 or more passes in a game at the Euros. He was equally exceptional in the second and third matches, with people questioning why on earth a man of that quality is retiring this summer. Jonathan Tah and Robert Andrich, both key components of Xabi Alonso's stellar Leverkusen side, are proving to be equally key for Germany. Tah and Rudiger are proving hard to get past. They're both strong and fast centre-backs who are not afraid to get involved in crunching tackles and hot-tempered battles. They're a great pairing on paper before the tournament and are proving to be worth their weight in gold so far. Andrich will go under the radar whatever happens to Germany this year, but he complements Kroos excellently and has been a hidden gem in European football this year. Up top, Kai Havertz is also playing well and has been getting into key positions and could be deemed unlucky not to have more goals under his belt. Notably, he is on penalties for the Germans, which shows the trust and belief that Nagelsmann has in the Arsenal man. Now, perhaps an underrated player who's been a bit of a shock to some so far is Niklas Füllkrug. The German has cemented himself in history as a super sub. All three of Füllkrug's major tournament goals, World Cups and Euros, have been as a substitute, a joint record for a European nation, along with Hungary's Laszlo Kiss, Portugal's Rui Costa, and Germany's Andre Schürrle. To crown all of this, Füllkrug also scored the equaliser against Switzerland in round 3 after coming in as a substitute in the 76th minute, and we think there is much more to come from him to keep up his astounding German goal-scoring record. Having qualified for the round of 16, the German team is 3 wins away from the Euro 2024 finals, with their first knockout game being against Denmark and a likely monster battle against Spain in the quarter-finals, and most likely Portugal or France in the semi-finals. Well, wins here would be amazing, yet not surprising, judging by the way they've played so far. France also started their tournament on a beautiful note when they defeated Austria by 1-0, but fans were not satisfied as they expected more from the World Cup finalists. The hype behind France winning the tournament really dropped after their poor starts to the tournament, but were they really that bad? We don't think so. France had a good start against Austria, and against the Netherlands, they played wonderfully, they just weren't able to score. And this was largely because they were without their injured talisman, Kylian Mbappe. Regardless, losing to the Netherlands shouldn't mean necessarily they're having a bad start to the tournament. However, upon the return to the starting 11, fans did think Mbappe would lead France to a win against Poland, and this was not to be the case. However, with informed players like Mbappe, Kante, Griezmann, Dembele, Koundé, and many more still in the France national team, surely the team is still one of the favourites to win the European Championship tournament this year, so never count them out. But right now they are rightly behind the most informed team, Germany. England were above Germany in the ranks of the favourites to win the Euros this year. This was a surprise to some, but not to many, as on paper they are a team that have great players like Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, Harry Kane, and just a host of other top players and young, fresh talent. So they'll surely be a favourite at any tournament they play, and they could still turn it around. But England's team have not been having a good tournament, especially with the class of players they have and the form they were in coming into the tournament. Now, they are still one of the favourites to win the thing, but they're slipping with each game played and are rightly now behind the hosts, Germany, and actually maybe other countries like Portugal and Spain. Germany's route to the final is now likely Denmark in the round of 16, a huge match against Spain in the quarters, and then a monster clash against either Portugal or France in the semis. So the big question is, can the hosts do it?